Hello, my name is Sarah Oliver, and I will be presenting my project for a STEAM Careers Classroom. My focus will be on the grades 1st through 5th in an elementary building. My three goals are to immerse my students in STEM and STEAM careers as possible outlets or fields they may study, a focus on all areas within STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, and then also including a sustainable section to my budget so that my classroom can continue for 5 years. I'm going to start in my digital binder with the tab Layout. In the layout portion, you'll see that I have a 2D on the left-hand side, which shows the areas of my classroom. I'm going to start on the top left. I have two storage cabinets, which will be utilized by myself, the teacher, to hide things that are breakable or large objects that I don't want students to see at the moment. I have a teacher workstation, which includes a document cam, my laptop, and also abilities to plug in different types of equipment, such as a printer, or into the audio system. In the light pink, here, 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 and here are speakers around the room to give my students surround sound. I have a board in addition to a projection screen for smart software. I have two display tables, another board on this side, a device cart for charging and storing computers for students. On the back, these would be workstations for my students, which include storage cabinets and workbenches and also sink access. This would be an aquarium, a reading station or reading nook with 6 different comfy chairs, another board for displaying information, and then in the center, this would be where my students are sitting. I chose to use high top lab tables so that my students feel like they are immersed in a laboratory setting with high back stools. And this box in the center would be my projector facing the smart board over here. I also have a second view of my classroom layout in 3D, similar to this one, of course, just a little bit more realistic. The next section I'm going to talk about is my overall goals. I do want my students from a very young age to know that careers in STEAM are possible and also attainable. I think that there are many jobs that students might not even know the name to, and they might not have that opportunity unless there's someone near them that they know already in that position. So I'd really like to immerse them in information and opportunities to research and find out more about certain careers so that they know what their possibilities are. In addition to having posters and monthly focus on careers, I would like to host a career day every year where I am asking 6 different people to come in and share about their jobs with a short activity with the students as well. I would like this to be something that occurs every single year with a variety of visitors and volunteers so that my students meet different people and possibly spark an interest that they might not have known about before. Another goal of mine is to make sure that I am focusing on all the specific areas in STEAM, but also try to integrate and incorporate them together. For example, I may focus on science by using microscopes. Technology coding would be a large focus in my instruction. For engineering, I have some EIE kits, which I will talk about later, such as building a water filter. Art, I would tie in both math and art together by creating tessellations. And then math would be exploring different measurement tools and connecting that to math concepts. My third and final goal is to make my classroom sustainable for a 5-year period. I'm hoping to budget the consumables that I will need so that this classroom can be off and running, and also look forward enough into the future to continue the program and make sure that it's successful. The theme of my classroom will include different careers. I hope to decorate the room with posters of women in history that have been very impactful to these different careers and areas of STEAM. My intention is for my students to know that these people have been successful in these everyday objects and advances in technology that we use, kind of learn a little bit more about the history. I would do a monthly focus on careers, as well as identifying the different focus areas of STEAM in my classroom. These are some highlights which I will go further into in my budget, but these are materials, some of which I already use in my classroom and some that are kind of like a wish list. But you'll see that I have areas in science such as the microscopes, math manipulatives, robotics, ant farms, an incubator to hatch chicks. In my reading nook, I would have an area for science-related books, a maker station, 3D printers, an indoor garden, and manipulatives with math to create 3D shapes. When I added up the total of my budget, I came up close to around $70,000, and I divided them into 6 different categories. My furniture was approximately $24,000. This included the student desks, tables, storage, etc. The technology budget was spent on a projector, speaker system, document camera, and then devices for myself and my students. My instructional materials were $20,000. I have a focus on life science. I would like to do a project with every grade that included ant farms, an aquarium, indoor greenhouse, microscopes, and snap circuits. The theme for my classroom, which would include decorations and the career day each year, would be around $700. My curriculum that I would use to directly instruct engineering would be around $3,000. And then my consumable budget over the next 5 years would be $5,000. This would include materials that could not be reused and would need replenished each year, such as ants, soil, seeds, gravel, etc., for a total of $69,779.93. I'm going to click on to my budget document so I can go into that more in depth. One moment, please, while it loads. I organized my budget into a table. You'll notice on the left-hand side I have the vendor letting you know where I would like to purchase these products, the usage, how I intend on using them within my classroom, the cost and quantity, and then also the total. So the first section I'm going to be talking about is the furniture for my classroom. I would like to have high top laboratory tables. I think that really is fun for students to have different seating options than a regular classroom, and also kind of gives them a taste of what it would be like to be in an actual laboratory. I like these high top stools. I would need 2 storage cabinets to house some of the materials. In the reading nook, I would like to have 6 comfy lounge chairs so that students feel comfortable and engaged in their book of choice. These are light filters that I would use on the fluorescent lights. I currently have these in my classroom and they are fantastic for days that we are coding and using devices. I can turn off half of my lights and then the rest of my room looks like blue light, which makes it really easy to see the computer screens as I'm walking around, but not so dark in my classroom that I can't see my students. It's the best happy medium. The back windows of my classroom I would like to line with this workstations for students and myself. So there would be a area for a sink and then under storage with the top workbench on top so that the students can stand in between these sections and work together in groups. I need several whiteboards around the classroom. And then this is the double-sided bookshelf to house different science texts. Moving on to the technology portion, I would like a projector in the center of my room, which would also work with my document can to increase the size of things and project papers that I may be using on the teacher workstation. Speakers to make sound more available for my students around the room. Chromebooks for each student. I would house this in the device cart, which is below. A computer for myself, and then a duo of 3D printers. I've had an opportunity to use these at a different school, and having one 3D printer goes incredibly slow and students kind of lose their attention span. So I think having 2 and having them go with different projects is probably the best for my clientele of having students in 1st through 5th grade. Below is the PLA filament that would be needed to run the 3D printers in a variety of colors. And 2 softwares that I think have fantastic resources, videos for me to use would be Mystery Science and also BrainPop. Moving on to instructional materials, I would like to have an aquarium in my classroom, not necessarily for a fish tank, but possibly an area to watch tadpoles go through their life cycle. Scholastic Books has a fantastic package for grades 1 through 5 that connect to the next generation standards, so I would like to buy these bundles for my reading nook. I would like a teacher digital microscope that is portable for me to walk around and show different items. I would need 20 student microscopes, and I love these ones in particular because they run on batteries and have a light so that students are not having a difficult time focusing the mirror microscopes. The next couple of things are math manipulatives. Dice can be used in so many ways, so I would like to have many options for that. Tangrams. I use these in connection with many art activities. Building 3D shapes. Cubes. A primary measuring kit, which has a whole bunch of different tools such as thermometers and different types of rulers and timers. Snap circuits. These student kits are the extreme level, which means I have over 50 different projects to work with the students, and I could decide on student ability how I wanted to spread that out over all the grades 1st through 5th. 2 new things that I am super excited about are Legos, which students already absolutely love and many of them have as a hobby. These are incorporating the technology into them and making them usable, movable, following tasks. So I love this creative toolbox for a robot, and then there's also an inventor kit. Something that I'd really like to designate for grades 1 through 5 is a life science project for each grade level. So I would love to do a indoor greenhouse to focus on plants, growing them from a seed. I would like to focus on ant farms, starting student journaling. I would like to incubate eggs and hatch them into chicks. Another activity would be raising butterflies from eggs and caterpillars, and then also the life cycle of tadpoles. Interweaving art with the other focus areas would be a makerspace, having it in an organized way which is kid friendly and available to them to follow task cards. The next couple items are art related with Play-Doh, modeling clay, colored pencils, scissors, a large amount of crayons, markers, glue sticks, glue refills, glue bottles, rulers, and then also yardsticks. The next section of my budget is focusing on theme. I would like to have a specific area designated to famous women. We know that we need to get young girls interested in STEM and feel like it is capable, that they are capable of that. So I would love to focus on that section. A monthly focus on different STEM careers, identifying the focus areas of STEAM, and then also hosting a STEM career day and making that a yearly thing that the students can, after 5 years of being with me, really have a strong basis of their future career possibilities. The next section about curriculum is taken from a program called Elementary is Engineering. It is something that I currently use in my classroom and really promote. I think that you could teach anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks worth of material on one specific concept, and I find that it is incredibly valuable to my students. I would have one per grade level. The first one is a water filter, then a Play-Doh kit, evaluating a landscape, pollination, and then cleaning up an oil spill. The storybooks that go along with the EIE kit introduce you to a child who is working with, or at least involved with, a different type of engineer. So you learn about the career, and then you also carry out a engineering design project to solve a problem within the storybook. I think it's very important to show that I am thinking ahead of how to make this program successful and making it sustainable for years to come. When you are asking for a large sum of money, I think administrators want to know how to keep things running for you. So for that reason, I have allotted $1,000 for the next 5 years that will allow me to buy consumable materials to continue my instruction. Some things might include ants, soil, seeds, gravel, food for animals, the caterpillars, tadpoles, and then refilling supplies within the EIE kits. My grand total is $69,779.93. I feel very confident that this money would go towards a classroom that would be inviting and engaging for students in grades 1 through 5 with a STEAM focus, and also showing students what careers they can attain if they follow these fields. Thank you very much.